Okay, welcome to the update. I understand we need to do an XRP update, but XRP is going down. If you haven't seen my latest updates, you should definitely check out my latest idea on I'll get to that. I'll get to XRP shortly. Let's just start with a few more people getting into this room because we need to start this thing off right now. Okay. For some reason, I've been having a few issues with my TradingView ideas getting onto YouTube. So I feel might as well go direct to the source. YouTube being a pretty good place to inform people. You can visit my TradingView profile, and I will link that below after this stream is done. But there's a few things that we need to go through. So I did spend a lot of time trying to upload my latest idea onto TradingView, but TradingView has been really unreliable lately. So every time I try to upload a video, I have to re-record it and it keeps just not working. So my job here is to explain what's going on with XLM, basically. Okay, once I get a few more people saying hi in the chat, we'll begin. So right now in Melbourne, it's 11 p.m. So it's getting pretty late, but like I said to you, I try to upload the same video 4 times in 1 hour. Actually, I think it went over an hour because my videos tend to go for like 20 minutes when I really have something to say. So it really bothered me to the point where it's live stream time, because at least you get to know what's happening right now instead of waiting for that technical problem to be resolved, because that's just BS, right? You need this information now, not tomorrow, not the day after. So I actually had some pretty cool things to say as well. And unfortunately, TradingView goes, oops, your download failed, try again. Try again, 4 times. You waste like a whole hour and a half just because of some oops message. What the hell is oops message? I apologize if there's some anomalies in my background there. We seem to have ghosts in the room. But yeah. Yeah, we should be right. Okay. So quarter 2020 says, nice, we need an XRP update, which I will give you soon. Trisha, hi Trisha. Boba, you've been praying for this crash. Well, it depends what coin you're talking about. Not all charts move the same. So you probably need to be a little bit more specific with what you're praying for. Chin up, lad. Matthew Fraser, one of my members. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. Enjoyed our conversation last night, and I'm going to add some more context to our conversation. Yeah, this guy's probably like not even on solid land right now, but he knows what's up. Bitcoin, yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin is actually hit its B wave top. So anything that happens from this point on is going to be counter Bitcoin. And that's where the XLM BTC chart will come into play. So that's going to be one of the main focuses of this live stream, which I intend on not making it too long, but every time I say that ends up going longer. So I just I better not say nothing. So welcome, Meparatus. If I said that right, I'm a legend. If I didn't, then your comment stands to be questioned. XLM wants to deny its bearish engulfing on the monthly. Yeah. If you're looking at long-term candles, deceptive. If you're looking at the pattern for what it is, that's what I'm going to do now. So, all right. So we've got at least 10 plus people here. So let's begin. I'll share my screen. All right. So first of all, the first thing I want to mention here, this is the Lumen Bitcoin Bittrex chart, right? So on the Bittrex chart, we can see that, well, if you look at my previous idea, wave 3 ended down here. However, there is evidence to suggest that that's not the case, right? And I'll get to that in just 1 second. So looking at this count, we have an A, B, C, D, E. So currently we're in the process of actually beginning to make wave 5 to the lows. Okay. So it's easy for me to say that. Everybody needs some kind of evidence, right? What's my evidence? Okay, so let's go to the XLM BTC finance chart. All right. So we never made that low on the 24th of May. So that can't be wave 3, the end of wave 3. It can't, right? It doesn't matter what chart you look at. If one chart is telling you that the pattern is wrong, then you must do your research, right? I've learned this the hard way. There is no way in hell that's a 5-wave move unless you believe in Elliott wave. And if you believe in Elliott wave, they would call this a truncation. It's a truncation. It didn't have enough strength to break the lows, but yeah, it did on the other chart. Really? So are we talking about truncation on one exchange and not truncation on another? Sounds pretty ridiculous to me. So in AriasWave terms, this means that we saw a sharp A, a B, a C, a D, a E, which is completing now, or if it hasn't completed, has the potential to go back up to the top of the triangle channel before going down to make that last low. Okay, so that being said, we can all just think think about just one thing for a second, right? Hang on. So just think about one thing for a second, right? We need to make a new low for wave 5, but why is this a triangle pattern? Now, even if you're an Elliotician, you will understand that a triangle pattern is part of the last move of a 5-wave move. It's the 4th wave. It's the last attempt because there's no strength left in the move down, that it has to create the balance of forces in order to finally try to thrust out of that pattern. So automatically here, you could just say, okay, is XLM going to go lower? Lower, 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 lower. Well, I'll answer that question by going back to the Bittrex chart and looking at the long-term pattern of XLM BTC, right? So right here we have an A wave with a sharp A correction, which never broke the low. Okay, so drilling down a little bit further, down to that low, we can see that there's a B wave followed by a C wave, right? It's pretty obvious the last move was a C wave across all charts. So it goes back to the same thing. So in terms of AriasWave, because AriasWave is mainly geared towards current members, because current members would understand what AriasWave actually means and how it works. So basically you can't break that low. So just say, for example, you were to see a lower wave C, and this was like wave 1, 2, you would literally break that low with the strength of what a wave C could potentially look like. And it would invalidate the complete pattern. And then you'd have to go back and you'd have to, it's just not going to happen, right? This is the thing that most trolls don't understand, is that they don't understand that once you've seen the weakest part, which, and by the way, when I say weakest part, from the highs, this was a 94% retracement. That's like Great Depression percentage retracement. So do you really think it's going to go lower than that? So my point here is that we've seen the lowest point in XLM versus BTC. So that adds credence to what I'm going to show you next in XLM USD, which is why I don't believe this is going to be going much lower, apart from finishing off the C wave, which I've explained just like literally the first thing I explained to you. Okay, the difference between the lows, etc. So at this point, I want to ask you, do you have any questions before I move on to the XLM USD chart? If you have any, go ahead. High W, W high, high W. So if there's nothing more to add to this, That proves my point. Pretty straightforward, right? So then you go back to XLM USD, right? You go to daily chart, right? Now, before I continue, just okay. Well, I'll get to that question. Matt asks, do you expect XLM to reach $10 or higher this year? I've sold some to buy lower. So have I. Except I haven't sold it. I've just converted it to USDT. So where do I want to buy it? Well, 27 cents. That's what it's all about. So when you're looking at it like this, right? We're in a D wave. Now this lines up with the bullish series of videos. If you watch the bullish series on my website, www.ariaswave.com, hit the bullish series tab, go through the videos, understand the bigger picture that we're looking at here, because this is just not about XLM. This is about a larger pattern that's unfolding across global markets. However, Bitcoin has topped, okay? And if you look back through history, Bitcoin actually did top before the official top in the Dow Jones. It did, right? And I could prove that to you, and I'll do that right now, right? Because people love proof, and I just love showing them proof. Okay. Now this particular chart, do you see where wave one ended in the Dow Jones? Right up here in 2018. Yeah, so Bitcoin ended around, end of 2017, but the rest of that move was still part of wave one. So technically the Dow Jones ended about a year later, roughly, right? And then we saw the ABC. This is currently a D wave, which I do track if you check my ideas. This is the biggest D wave in history, but it's going to have its consequences. And that's why you have to follow me, because once we hit that high, there's going to be a GFC 2.0. So therefore, you want to sell at the right time, because those profits will be used once the crash is over to basically buy up whatever you want. But first, you have to make those profits. So if you haven't made those profits yet, that's what we're all about. We're doing that. So the point here is that the Dow Jones can top, well, according to one piece of evidence, the Dow Jones doesn't necessarily top at the same time as Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin saw its first A wave in 2017, 2018, 2019. But the Dow Jones saw its first A wave in October of 2018. So it's not like the waves are correlated, but they roughly follow the same pattern. Yeah, maybe converting to USDT is selling, but you're not cashing out of Binance, Coinbase. You're still in the realm where you can easily just go boom back into XLM. It's not like if you convert it back to fiat. Does that mean that you call USDT a fiat currency? Is USDT a fiat currency? Or is it a stable coin? Answer that one. Because it's very easy for me to go from one to the other without having to deal with the regular system. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you're converting between the you know, for example, I use Binance. I prefer Binance because like my background is in IT, and I have a friend that uses crypto.com. That's junk, rubbish, absolute crap. I tried Coinbase. I found that it's also pretty freaking ridiculous. I won't tell you why, but it's clunky. Binance is like Microsoft compared to like Coinbase being like Linux, right? But not the latest version of Linux, like probably like the first version. It's just so clunky. Microsoft gets the job done, right? Converting is a taxable event. Sue me. Sue me. I don't care, right? I don't care. We're in a point in time right now where just don't do your taxes for a few years, make a few $1 million and deal with it. Eventually you will be taxed. Thank you, Taylor, for saying that, because it's true. It pumps, it goes down. Where do you know how to get out? That's AriasWave. AriasWave teaches you that. Yeah. Mr. Matthew Fraser is right. Old season is nearly here. Well, Taylor, if you mine Ethereum at the moment, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good setup. I admire you for that. I'm a tech guy myself, and yeah, I love that stuff. I love the tech I love the effort that goes into setting all that stuff up. Takes a lot of capital directed in the right place, basically. A lot of organizational skills, optimization, and just basically having an overall view of what the hell you are doing. That's pretty cool. Okay, so basically, when it comes to the Dow, it doesn't top the same time as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I reckon, is topped already. The Dow is going to keep going a little bit further, right? And even if I didn't, even if I wasn't trying to use this chart as a guide, because this is like hindsight, the waves are telling me that the same thing's going to happen, except this time D wave is pretty freaking huge. So, to me, I reckon because of the D wave being so expanded, it's going to cause GFC 2.0. Because it's the whole thing. Like when you go back to if you're into conspiracy theories, not so much conspiracy theories, but like if you ever listen to what's his name? Forgot his name now. I have to look this one up. They banned him off YouTube. God, pisses me off. Not Alan Jones. It's that other dude, the other English dude banned. off YouTube. It's going to come to me when I ask it. Come to me. No, it didn't come to me. That annoys me when that happens. Yeah, so basically it's like this is all part of a plan, okay? The great reset. Okay, how do you reset a market? Well, you pump it to high hell, get everybody all in, and then the drop comes in. So this has happened before in 2009, but David, is that his name? Dave. No. They pump it up, and it just crashes. So you got to think about this, right? XLM, XRP, they're trying to solve problems that are related to like global payments, trying to replace SWIFT and the global financial system, right? So if the market crashes, well, that means banks crash. That means that XRP will crash because they are basically trying to help each other out and they're both doing not good. So the solution isn't going to be worth much to the problem. So therefore it's just, it all lines up. And that's just like a basic like logic, right? The waves are telling me this is going to happen. So what I'm trying to say is this is all part of the same pattern, right? Whether you look at it through Dow Jones or XLM or any other coin, XRP, there's an event coming that's going to reset everything, but it depends on when you get out of the market will determine how much you can hold in USDT and then be patient as hell. So then you have the opportunity to rebuy at eWave when that happens. Yeah, so without getting too much into the current Dow Jones, let's go to the XLM USD chart. We've seen an A, B. As you know, I don't expect C to be deep, right? So the latest move is basically telling me 1, 2, 3, 4 is a triangle, wave 4, could go a little bit higher, and then we'll go and make a new low. Wave 5 done. Wave C done. Then we can move to wave D, which will break the all-time highs, as I've been explaining it in my previous ideas. But the thing is, right, I want to get it, I want to get the waves right. Right? I want to make sure that the waves are as accurate as possible. So, you know, like I can give you a perspective on the C wave, which I thought it was like a expanded type 2 zigzag, but that can be easily abolished by looking at the first two patterns, and then the preceding pattern, and now the final pattern. So it's easy to dismantle your own analysis by using, I mean, you have 5 waves, right? You have 5 waves. If you think you know one of them, but the rest of you are telling them are telling you that one doesn't make sense, then you're gonna go with you got 5 waves, man. Like, just use the evidence you have, even if you have to dismantle your own pre-concepts, your own personal confirmation biases. No matter how difficult it is for you to accept it, try to use as much evidence as you can to form your analysis, right? Don't just rely on one chart. And cryptos is perfect because you have multiple exchanges and they're all giving you a piece of evidence. But do you know how to look for that evidence? You get me? Um, Thank you, Gemini. Always seen you be so positive. I love the positive vibes. So expectations for the end of the year. I want to see that low first. Once I see that low, I don't think it will take that long to see the all-time high broken. But as I told you before, Bitcoin tops ahead of the Dow. Now, if you look back to 2017, XLM didn't top out at the same time as Bitcoin. It actually went longer, and so did Ethereum. Okay, so these coins don't follow each other the same, right? Even though they look like they kind of do, because you're just using your animal brain to kind of like observe patterns and stuff. Once you do the nitty gritty analysis using AriasWave, you start to have context, and it's all about context. So that's the only reason why AriasWave works, is because it provides that context. The people who choose to ignore that point, they're just going to troll me, because it's like, oh, why do you think you know it all? Well, it only took me 6-7 years to figure it out. But I also threw thousands of dollars at the market, even though I used AriasWave and I was wrong the whole time. It didn't deter me, because I knew there was some pattern that I saw that kept repeating, and I just wanted to figure it out, right? And it's the same thing. Like, I started doing IT when I was 16 years old. So I didn't go to college or any particular type of training to figure out IT. And I've been working in IT for 20 years. I earn over 100 grand in IT per year, and my job allows me so much flexibility that I can have time to do whatever I want. So it's just it's the type of thinking that you have that will lead you where you're going, right? Because if you think that you can't, you won't. If you think that you can, eventually you will, right? But if you find someone who, like, if you align on a frequency with somebody who's doing sort of what you want to do, then you can connect. And once you interconnect with that, fine, you might need some evidence. Use the evidence, use the proof, whatever. But for me, this is my passion, right? So I will use every single piece of energy in me to make sure that I bring you what I know, and also over time make the money, and then that will only prove that I'm right, but it would also teach people along the way, because like what I'm telling you now, it's just free. Like why do we have the internet? Like, how many things did you start learning off the internet for free? For me, it was like It was all free. So why would I be one of those people who will only charge for a course, but I grew up where you could find anything for free? You know, time is money. That's one thing, but you know, there are certain things that like will make you money, and then it's like, come on, man, that's just like pocket change compared to what you made. So you got to learn to be generous and give back to the community. So that's the kind of thinking I have. Matthew Fraser, on this XLM Capital Com chart, you start with the B wave. What, you mean this one down here? Well, what happened after wave 3? Hang on, sorry, let me stop messing around with my chart. What happened after wave 3? We had a bounce. That was an A wave bounce. Do you want me to zoom into that? Okay. I hear you. You want to know more. You want to dig deeper, and you know the ways because obviously you're learning this stuff. But have a look at wave A, right? And I want you to answer me this one question. Does that look like a 5-wave move to you? Does that look like a 5-wave move to you on the 15-minute chart? Potentially, it could, but you have to take into consideration that if you think it's a 5-wave move, then that means you think that's a zigzag for wave A, right? And on this particular chart, it is. So B wave, yeah, has to be. C wave has to be. D wave, expanded D wave. How would I define the D wave? A, B, C, D, E, C. A, B, C, right? It looks like a 5-wave move, but you need to take a look at the internals, right? Because you already have that framework that tells you that certain waves can only happen at certain times. So I could accept that as an A, a B, a C, but I can't accept that as a 5-wave move. I can't. Because if we did, that means that this is A of an ongoing D. So if that was an ongoing D, that means this would have to be a B. And so far, that doesn't look like a B wave. It doesn't look like it has any kind of A, B, C pattern going there. A, B, C, D, E. That does not look like an A. That does not look like a B. So therefore, I draw the conclusion that's an expanded type 2 zigzag. And the BLT, the XLM BLT chart kind of confirms it. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to use all pieces of evidence. Well, that's right. I'm not gonna quit doing what I'm doing. I update daily, and I never ever plan to quit. right? And I believe in I believe in what I do. So to me, it's just like, just give it time. If you're really curious, you can learn. Just watch all my videos. You'll pick up on certain cues. If you want to learn directly, you can. 50% off until end of June. So one more month. And by the way, June has only 30 days, not 31, like I put on my website. I kind of messed that one up, but so what? When you're talking about international, the 31st for me could be the end of the month for you. Big deal. Bob, but the internet saved my life. It saved my bloody life too. I tell you what the hell would I be doing if it wasn't for the internet? So I want to build a community, a bunch of people like Matthew Fraser. He's already like, he's pretty onto it. He gives me the vibe that if I was full of shit, he'd just tell me straight out. He would. But from what I can see, he sees the logic behind it. Matthew, can you say yes or no to that? I don't even know because we've only had like a couple of Zoom meetings. But hello, Brandon. Good timing. Yes. Yes, good timing indeed. So to cap this all off, right? The one thing that really stands out to me is that why would wave 4 be so weak if it was going to be continuing lower? It doesn't make sense, right? Unless the only other possibility could be that this was a wave 1. This whole thing was a wave 1, and then we're heading for wave 2, and then we're going to go lower in wave 3. It's just going to get sharper. But like I mentioned, the BLT, XLM BLT chart tells me no, it's not going to happen. So what can I say? I really do think the XLM BTC chart gives you a big insight into what's happening more than the XLM USD chart because as you know, all the altcoins are calculated based off Bitcoin. So if you make substantial moves against Bitcoin in like an XLM BTC chart, then it's going to translate into USDT because USDT is pretty stable. So it's only going to be when we hit the top and USD makes a big move up. Like if you watch the bullish series, I expect USDT to make a huge move up after it bottoms. I think that's going to coincide with the top in XLM. But that is still a little while away, and I do believe it's going to be around the same time when the USDT bottoms. When the US dollar bottoms, so will XLM. But the way that the correction is going, it's not going to happen quickly. It's going to be like a drawn out process because it's a wave E. But once the USD makes that final move, that's going to be the big crash in the markets. That's it for the US dollar. They're going to print the shit out of it, and it's going to start basically losing value at a rapid rate, faster than you've ever seen in your whole life, ever. Yeah, I'm thinking about Discord. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm slowly trying to like make it my lifestyle to be social in every aspect. It takes a lot. It took me a lot of work to get here. So slowly I will build it out, and yeah, we'll get there. So 27 cents is where I'm buying back USD back into XLM, 27 cents. It could go lower, but I don't want to play that game. I'm not trying to catch the exact bottom. But from where we are now to 27 cents, you can increase your XLM almost double. Not quite double, maybe 70, maybe like 75% more, I think. Yeah. So what else could I add to this? Apart from it's a weak wave C, wave 4. Like wave C doesn't even have the strength to move lower without correcting so much, which means it's trying to thrust out of a triangle, which means it's in line with the larger picture. We're going to break all-time highs after we hit this low. If you have 100 grand, I would only put 10 grand here, break the green line up the top, put another 10 grand, break the all-time high, another 10 grand, and just be conservative. Don't go spastic on loading up, because you have to understand that you have to have good money management. Money management is like key. It's the key, right? If you go all in on something, you are literally just like taking your whole life savings, buying a lot of lottery tickets at once, and then just hoping that one of them wins. But if you're using the waves, you're just being conservative, you know. Yes, you make profit. It makes you feel good. You add to your position because you know why you're doing that. You're not just doing it blindly. And then you see more confirmation, and then you add more. So if you're talking about going from $1 to $160, if wave E ends at the all-time highs, what does it matter if you scaled in? Why would you risk that type of thing? Like it's just doesn't make sense. Like don't be so risky. Yes, we have the evidence, but the proof is always in the pudding. That's it. So I'm not a financial advisor, but I use AriasWave to give me the clues, and so far the clues are telling me that wave C is weak. Like it started off strong, it's weakening. It'll eventually bottom out, and then there's more upside. But if you're talking about Bitcoin, that's a whole different ballgame, right? Bitcoin, go to the BTC chart, right? Go to the daily chart. Right. Now, you all know the story of me being bearish, and then I went bullish because I started delving into cryptos, and then I try to make this look more bullish than it possibly could. But I was bearish at the beginning, and then and then now I'm back bearish again because we've seen the freaking proof. That's a turnaround, dude. That's more of a turnaround than the turnaround in 2017. So, yeah, this is why XLM BTC chart is important, because at this point in time, we are seeing a top. So that's going to drive altcoins up in what they call old season, but I just call it altcoins gaining strength because Bitcoin's is getting weaker, right? because we're in a bear market, right? In a bear market, it's not like it just, it takes me back to the Euro USD inverse correlations like thesis that that everybody knows, where, is it the US dollar that's getting weaker? Or, if the euro is going up, is it because the US dollar is getting weaker, or is it because the euro is getting stronger? So in this case, I believe it's a bear market. The use case utility hasn't been implemented yet. So being in a wave 2 correction across the board and only seeing like a portion of it completed, this is complete speculation. This is completely speculation. So I'm sorry, Michael Saylor, but you are in rough seas right now because you don't know the waves. Elon Musk, you're pretty smart. I hope you took the time to learn the waves, but I bet you don't have enough time to learn the waves because you're so busy doing so much other stuff. And hats off to you. But when you take the time to really study the waves and how the waves repeat, you can see that divergences will happen, and you have the evidence because you have so many damn charts to compare it against. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Bitcoin completed B wave. XLM still in the process of completing a D wave. There's no, you cannot predict where this is all going. You can't. You just have to regularly update your members, your followers, your subscribers, with logic, process of elimination. Anybody who claims that they know exactly what's going to happen in the future is full of shit, because you just can't know the future 100%. But I did predict this being a B wave, and so far it's proven that it's a B wave. Because if this was a wave 3 or like a bull market, then why did it suddenly just turn down and it's still going down? Like, in fact, if you look at my Bitcoin analysis, it's getting ready to go lower. So yeah, that's right. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And my job is to just use AriasWave. Okay. If I was to use my ego to make calls, I would be just like everybody else. But because I try to find out the best count that makes the most sense, I'm blaming my count. I'm not blaming my ego. Yeah. It did the same thing in 2017, and that's because we're in a bear market since then, and we've only seen AB. So there's five waves in a correction. A, B, C, D, E. We've only seen AB in Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that we can't see a CDE pattern. Now, this is something that I discovered through my back testing, that you can see a C, D, E pattern, right? And then it'll go up. So that can happen. So it can happen in such a way that it might look like it was one wave, but technically, if you dissect every wave, it'll be a CDE pattern. And then you'd only have to break a certain level before you go long. and then you're off to the races. This thing's probably got unlimited potential, but so does XLM, so does XRP. So who cares? It's all about percentage gains. What price did you buy it at? How much do you own? So really, there's no point worrying about who owns what. How many Bitcoin do you have? How many are you the guy who took the two pieces and delivered them for 10,000 Bitcoin? Congratulations, right? But do you still have that now, or did you sell it? It's a psychological game. So AriasWave teaches you that game, and it teaches you what to look for in order to make that assumption. You know, in a nutshell, that's what it is. Yes, Matt. Bitcoin is deflationary dollar, but so is the whole market. Everything, even the Dow Jones, everything is well, actually, it depends, right? If you ever watch Milton Friedman, Money and Inflation, he put out that YouTube, well, there's a YouTube video from that time in the 80s, 70s, 80s. He talks about money and inflation. And from my research, I've found that there are periods of time where we are deflationary. And I find that that's usually within corrections. So at the moment, I believe Bitcoin is deflationary until it ends wave 2. And when it ends wave 2, it'll be inflationary, right? So it'll be basically trending with interest rates and the stock market, which is inflationary, because that's increased money supply, right? So the money that's been hiding for so long suddenly comes out into circulation, which is called money velocity, and then that drives up inflation. So in the moment, because we're in a bear market, there's a lot of fear. So what happens in bear markets is the fear causes people to save, hide money under the mattress. So that money is not in circulation. That takes me back to the whole market cap argument in coins. Like, just because you have a market cap, it doesn't mean that those coins are in circulation. Therefore, that's not inflationary. That's actually just well, speculative to a point until it actually becomes until those coins are actually in circulation, and then that's where the real bull market begins. Using the waves, Matt. If we break those lows and I buy my XLM back, I will hold to $160 easy. But we have to see the E wave, and this is an ongoing process. So if the E wave ends lower than the all-time high, then I would adjust the count a little bit. But even so, I would still, when wave C begins, I would still be tracking those waves to count 5 waves up. So you got to wait for the wave B to end first in brackets before you could take a proper measurement. I'm just giving you like a heads up that this could happen. So $160 is not set in stone, but it's possible if it breaks the all-time highs and retests the all-time high, and then that's when wave B will end, and that's where the measurement comes from, by taking the same length of wave A in brackets. So that's why I'm here to keep you updated. So, but would I hold it? Of course I would, because I know that we have to complete a whole zigzag. And until I see that whole zigzag completed, I'm not going to sell it once I rebuy it, because the patterns always unfold the same way, except this time we're seeing an expanded zigzag, and I'm just going to take advantage of that. Well, that's right. Currencies don't have market caps, and that's why it's inflationary for everything else. The price of Stellar is banking on trading volume, and if CBDCs and Visa transact through Stellar, well, basically you're just banking. You're going long on banks, which in the long run will go up, right? Because we live in a world where everyone gets bailed out. So therefore, even if there is a massive crash, they're going to get bailed out. They have to. Otherwise, the whole system collapses and that's the end of everything. But it's not going to happen. They're going to just print to high hell, and that's going to cause massive inflation. So that's where you're going to get this growth, which is to the regular person going to increase the cost of living, but to the person who invests at the right time, he's going to get stinking filthy rich and he's going to be ahead of the game. So that's the whole point here. Well, of course, Taylor, exponential growth, right? If you want to go, let's just go back to, and I always like to use this example because people just think like I'm in the clouds, right? Oh, I live in some kind of dream world, but patterns always unfold the way they do, and we're in a zigzag, right? So whenever B wave ends, we're going to measure from there to get the exact same length as the first move. That's a zigzag, right? It's just freaking common sense. So from the bottom of wave C to the top of wave A, wave D, we had a 14,000, roughly 14,000% increase. Did that not seem strange to you when that happened? Was that kind of like a little bit fantasy? Yeah, we live in this world. That's why I switched to cryptos, because I saw that this is possible. And why would I waste my time with the euro, which basically gives you peanuts, even if you're right? It gives you peanuts. Hi, Sebastian. I don't understand what you're saying. In 2 words, what I've lost till now? Everything. Everything. Yeah, but that's just because they keep printing money, Matt. That they just keep printing more money, and that's because money. Okay, so look at the housing market, Matt. Right? Whenever somebody takes out a loan, does that money actually exist? No. The banks actually create that money out of thin air. So you're talking about transaction volume on a fiat currency, which the banks have absolute total control over creating money out of thin air. Yeah, maybe it is. But is that really going to help cryptos crash? No, it's actually going to pump them up because it's actually inflationary. Sebastian, I don't know what you're trying to ask me. Why don't you just be more direct with your question and then I'll just answer it. I'm pretty straightforward. What have you lost until now? I don't know. From the start of your life? How would I have any clue what you've lost? I don't understand the question. Just try and put out a full question and I'll answer it. I'm very open-minded. I don't judge. I just see everything for what it is. Yes, Matt, it will, because it's going to replace the whole system, right? So it's like driving your old broken, like your old piece of shit car, right? And then you get a job, and your job is to I don't know, deliver stuff. You're a courier, but they say to you, hey, we'll give you a new car, and that car performs so much better. So that car starts producing more results. Yes, it basically Stellar will be the backbone for those CBDCs, which CBDCs is designed to increase. Basically, it's designed to increase how much money the government gets, because it's going to track every dollar. Therefore, no black market, no cash handling. Everything gets taxed. You're going to be basically the backbone for an increased money supply, or increased basically, like, every dollar will be tracked. You know what I mean? Like, how much money is circulating around now in the black market? Probably a good reason why they want to bring out CBDCs. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Market cap has nothing to do with anything, because it's all about circulation. How much Stellar is circulating in the market has nothing to do with the value of each Stellar, because that's just like saying, okay, I value one Stellar at 60 cents times by 10 billion gives me a number. But in reality, how much of that Stellar is actually in circulation? Probably not that much, but it will increase over time because of its utility. Its use case will actually take effect, and it will be the backbone. Whereas now it's not quite there yet, but it's getting ready to be. You get me? Yeah. Welcome, Tyville, Tiaville. Sorry if I said it wrong. Uh, yeah, I'm buying both. When the opportunity comes, I'm buying both XLM and XRP. They're both my favorite. So I will literally go 50-50 on both, because I believe it's going to be one or the other, and I'm not taking my chances. Yeah, I mean, these people, they're not stupid. David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, uh, You know, like I suppose the XLM team, you know, what's her name? The CEO that Jed appointed. It's more about the tech people. I like the tech people. I like Jed. I like David Schwartz. Those people, they inspire me. I like the way they talk. I'm a tech person myself. The way that they come across to me, I reckon they're literally gonna freaking change the face of the world, economic system. So, given some time, and they'll become legends. Yeah, Danielle Dixon. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he appointed her because he would probably do a really bad job at that what she does. He's more of a tech guy. So yeah, from Mozilla. I suppose at the end of the day, you got to believe in what you're investing in. Like if you don't believe what you're investing in, speculation is okay in the short term, but long term, it's peace of mind. You know what, like I could tell you the best price to get into all these things, but if you don't believe in them, how are you going to have the faith to hold on in the long term? Like you won't. Yeah. Hi, William, and thanks for your question. Um, it's not a short term. It's a short term move down. It's not a crash. Like let's just go to the 5 minute chart. All right. What's happened since we've been talking? Right. So I am expecting a move down to the lows. Right. And so far, since I've had this live chat going, it's been moving down. But I expect it to move down to the red line, which is 27 cents. All of my XLM has been put into USDT because I believe firmly in what I'm preaching, what I'm saying, to the point where I am not even worried. When I hit 27 cents, everything I own, well, all my USDT will go back into XLM, and I will own more XLM than when I put it into USDT up here. That's it. It's not a crash. And plus we have a gap here that needs to be filled. That's it. Apart from that, the major crash is coming after we hit the highs that we're expecting, which is what, anywhere between 100 and 160. I wouldn't say anything less. Okay, so go to my website, look up market cap. That's BS. Market cap doesn't mean anything in a bear market rally. Okay, because just say, for example, right, you had a move where it went exponential in a B wave, which is a corrective pattern, and it hit this massive all-time high, and the market cap was crazy, but then it comes crashing down. So my target got reached. I took my profit. The market cap at that point was crazy, but then it just crashed again. It's like, yeah, so what? Market cap for a moment there was like that much, but like market cap is a fallacy. Go to the website, AriasWave.com, and have a look at it's written in green writing, interesting article about market cap. It's just like it's a good reason. It's like an excuse people use to deny a possible bull run, or they use it to assume that this is impossible. But like I showed you before, Stellar made like a 13,000, 14,000% move. So what? Its market cap went from, fuck all to pretty big in a short amount of time. It was like, did anybody ever say, "Oh, market cap was a factor as to why it crashed"? Like, like, is this an argument that you are just using now? Did you use the same argument back then? Because if you did, you were proven wrong, and you were surprised. And does that mean it won't happen again? I just don't understand that. Like, yeah, keep holding that, Stella. If you are in USDT, like I said, you should be. Buy it at 20. Buy it at the lows. Like it could possibly go a little bit below 27 cents, the last low, but don't risk it. Don't play that I want to cash the bottom game. Just be conservative. As soon as we hit the low, it'll complete the rule. Buy it. Okay. If it goes a little bit lower, who gives a shit? Right? You are being conservative by buying at that low. If you want to play catch the knife, you might make another extra couple of dollars. That's it. This is not going to go much lower. It has to make one more low. That's the way the waves work. So that's why I find identifying the waves so critical. That's why I'm so fanatical about. I even decide, like, I tried to upload a TradingView video 4 times today. Each time I spent like 15 to 20 minutes on each video repeating the same crap that I have been telling you in this video. And every time there was like a technical glitch where it just said, "Oops, do you want to try again?" Yes. And it just kept failing. I'm like, okay, I'm doing a live stream because I've had it. I need to get this message out, and I don't give a shit about how dodgy your tech is right now. Maybe it's going through a rough patch, but I really need to inform my members, my subscribers, my followers as to what the hell is going on right now, because I think this is pretty important. Because like if you're going long right now thinking, oh, we're about to go long for whatever damn reason you have in your mind, yeah, okay, go long. But if you're wrong, you would have missed out on buying it cheaper. That's about it. So if you want to go long, do it now. Buy now. But if you want to buy it cheaper and you own more of it, follow the strategy. Learn AriasWave. I teach this stuff. My members love the content because it makes sense. It's very tricky. That's why I post regularly, because then I can sort of help indirectly, but also get people interested, and then do live streams where I answer all sorts of questions. I'm learning as I go. I believe in Stellar. Yes, yes, yes. Stellar isn't just used to trade fear. Well, Stellar is the intermediary. Stellar is like that in between. Like if you want to send USD to Zimbabwe or China, wherever, it's the intermediary. It'll find the best price, translate it into the cheapest way to get that money to you. I suppose it's still pretty young, because if I send Stella to you, like, who accepts Stella? Like, can you go to the bakery and buy a donut with Stella? Not yet. So at the moment, I reckon it's more geared towards the corporations and institutions, but just wait until they crash the market and get rid of cash. I think that you'll see a whole bunch of cryptos accepted everywhere. I know that sounds crazy, but it just seems so damn logical to me that why wouldn't you be able to? It's a tradable product. It's a market. It's a currency. You know, why can't I use my currency to buy some bread? Eventually that problem will be solved. Somebody will come up with a way. Yeah, well, that's right. You can, link it with Visa, but one day I think it'll be more streamlined than going through Visa. That Visa's a middleman. I reckon one day you'll go direct. It'll be just like tap and go. But it wasn't using Visa. It was using some kind of infrastructure that will be directly related to cryptos. Coinbase, another middleman. Oh, Binance. Yeah, Binance. That's a good point. The exchanges could probably expand their operations. Yeah, that's a good point. Uh, yeah, good one, Matt. Um, I reckon by the end of the year, that's my best guess right now. End of like a lot of market tops happen at important points in time, like end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the financial year. But in this case, from what I've like sort of observed, I reckon end of 21 will be the top for the Dow. Maybe I reckon this time it's going to be well, Bitcoin's topped already. I reckon altcoin, whatever altcoin manages to continue higher will most likely top at the same time as the Dow Jones, even if Bitcoin has already topped, because Bitcoin topped earlier anyway. I already mentioned that earlier. So market's starting to move down now. Just go to that 27 cents so I can just be done with this. And then I'll just go about my daily activities without even looking at a chart for a few weeks, months. I'm kidding. As if I could do that. All right. Well, I reckon we've hit the peak of the live stream. Judging by Google, we hit the peak at 11:45. Yeah, I reckon XLM will top this year. As long as this pattern is correct, we should see the D wave bounce. D wave could be pretty sharp, up, down, E, straight up. Wouldn't be surprised if it went for the end of the year. Yeah, but we need to see this low. I can already see weakness in the market because otherwise this thing would have already, it would already be moving down lower. Like, just say for example, right, you're looking at wave 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm gonna have to go to a larger time frame. Maybe let's just go. Let's just go 15-minute, right? So if you're looking at 1, okay, 1 was weak, 3 was sharp, and then now you're going to see a move down. But is that going to be straight down, or is it going to dilly-dally around? Is it going to do this? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's not going to be like this, like boom, down. That's wave 3. 5 will just gradually move down, and it won't be as sharp as wave 3, because wave 3 is the sharpest wave, right? If you start to see this move happening now get sharper than the wave 3, then shit, man, something's gone wrong. But if you just start to see that this thing just moves down gradually, and you know, then that adds more credence to the idea that it's a wave 5, right? And plus, we've seen a triangle shape, so it's probably just going to thrust down to the lows, and that'll be it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I need to just mention again that my TradingView ideas haven't been translating to YouTube. So what I might do right now, just while I'm here, I'll just go to my profile. So if you click on that, I'm pretty sure you can, if you don't see my if you haven't seen an XLM update in like 24 hours, just hit that link and you get my profile and you'll see the latest ideas. Okay. But I try really hard to make sure, yeah, like I said, I've been having some technical difficulties for some reason. So I don't know if it's anyway, I'm gonna figure it out. So who cares? At the moment, just understand that link, it just links directly to the TradingView profile page, so you can see the latest. Just in case you're thinking, why hasn't he posted? I probably did post, You just haven't seen it yet. So so that's what this live stream's about. So yeah, awesome. Thanks, Matt, and thank you everybody else for joining. I'll catch you very soon. Hope you have a good night, day, evening, wherever you are.